Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you can't tell by the title of this video, we're engaged. It happened. We did it. You did it. You asked. And if you can't tell, I'm very excited. We thought we would just kind of retell the story, just a start to all of the wedding planning content that's gonna be on the channel coming up, because I would really like to document it.
I'll tell my side of the story.
Your side of the story? Okay.
So it started, we've been dating like 7 or so years, known each other longer, and moved in together 5 years ago?
Yeah, it must have been 5, like 2 years into our relationship, so yeah.
Yeah, when we left the East Coast. She's always wanted to get married, but this last year with the pandemic and everything kind of solidified it. I felt a little bit more secure at my job, so I was just in life and stuff, so I'm in a better mental spot.
We
And
made goals.
we had some goals set aside.
Like
so pretty
jobs.
much what happened is I got a ring in like April. I went to a jeweler in Portsmouth who has been doing kind of jewelry for my family for years and years and years, generations, and we took the diamond out of a ring that was in my mom's ring, and before her it was in my Nana's ring, and before that it was in
which is just
another Nana's ring.
Crazy to me. A lot of history in the ring.
We discussed, carats and whatever, and decided on a simple gold solitaire.
I kind of gave you an idea, right, of like what I wanted.
Yep. So
Yeah.
so Tyler visited New York, dropped off the ring, and it just kind of sat while I was planning out how I was going to do it. So this is the actual story.
Wait.
What?
Where did you hide it?
It moved around a lot.
Because I remember it can. We've obviously we talked about getting engaged a lot. This wasn't a big surprise. Again, we've been together for 7 years. I mean, yeah, I told you a year in that we should get married. But I knew the ring was in the apartment because I forget how it came up.
At first, it was in a boot, and I decided that wasn't romantic, so I actually went to my family and asked them where I should put the ring, and they said in a guitar case. That'd be fitting for you. And then I ended up playing a show in Brooklyn and brought the fucking ring. Or actually, no, I guess it was Ridgewood, Queens. So I brought the ring.
Was I even at that show?
No.
Oh my god.
Like deep L train territory, way out of Manhattan, and decided that wasn't the right move either. So I hid it in my desk in the bottom drawer, and just covered it up with a bunch of stuff. I mean, it was in like 3 boxes too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Obviously, I consciously told myself not to look for it, even though I really wanted to.
So I knew I wanted to ask the question before the end of the summer, so I waited until the last possible minute.
Wait, yeah, it was September 3rd.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask it early August, late July, early August, but your dad was kind of hard to pin down. Like, he was not available. He was all over the place. He was never where we were. Even when we went back north to New Hampshire to visit family,
he'd be at camp in Maine, and we'd be
3 hours away in Maine, and it was just like, okay, fine. So eventually, we spent the whole week at her camp,
which we do every summer.
And Nicole was out in the hammock, and he was inside, and so I asked him for his blessing because that's what Nicole wanted. And then
I didn't want Ian to ask for their permission per se, because I think that's outdated. My dad has said that it would just be nice to like let him know and like ask for his blessing. And I mean, like, first of all, I knew they wouldn't say no because they love you.
The day that we got engaged, I asked her mom literally on the way up to the mountain where we got engaged. And it was so funny because Nicole wanted to get engaged wearing white, and her mom just had a white dress out that morning. And it was like, oh, this is serendipitous. Well, this is working out perfectly.
Ian had me completely convinced that he was going to wait until we were in New York to do it. Because you kept dropping all these hints. You were like, oh, I've got this photographer friend in New York, and you wouldn't even recognize him, and the West River's really pretty. And so when we packed all our things to go to New Hampshire, which was ultimately for my friend's wedding, I packed the dress for her wedding, and sweatpants. And that was it. So you were like, oh, we're gonna get dressed up, we're gonna go to a nice dinner at Loon, which isn't totally unlike you, because we hadn't been to the Common Man yet, but I was like, I don't have anything to get dressed up in.
We got up to Loon, and I picked champagne up on the way up.
Which was totally not at all a hint.
Well, because we were going to a wedding the next day, but then I insisted we drink it that night. I don't actually like champagne, so I ended up pouring out most of it.
Oh, well, I also told you to make the cork pop really high, so it was as bubbly as it possibly could be.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh my god. Take a swing. New bottle of champagne. Ooh. We're engaged.
Yeah.
We're engaged.
Whoa.
It's so pretty. Okay, sorry. Oh my god, we have to plan a wedding. Oh no. Okay, wait, sorry.
You gotta send me that video so I think that's actually the one I want to send to people when I say we got engaged. Is the champagne popping. I think in the last hour before I popped the question, it was pretty obvious because I was like, we're gonna go up the mountain in fancy clothes.
On the gondola, I still wasn't sure because you did say, so, right, you had the champagne in your backpack, and I was like, and you were like, oh, I want to film an end of the summer TikTok on top of a mountain. I'm like, okay. But I was like, sure, okay. Dressed up, we were going to the Common Man afterwards. I was like, we're just kind of like wasting time until then. We've never done the gondola in the summer. Okay, totally. Get to the top. Mind you, I am in a dress. I did have on heels, which I ditched immediately and carried up the mountain. And a full face of makeup. Hiking up this mountain to North Peak. And we get up there, and Ian goes off.
I know Nicole wanted it filmed. Sorry.
No, you did. I really was happy with the pictures.
Good.
I like them a lot.
Yeah, I think the video I got was splendid.
Honestly,
so
seeing just us was really special.
it took me a good 20 minutes to find like an angle and
Well,
setup.
for a good minute, thought you were just kind of checking out the views and taking pictures of the mountains. And I'm standing by the chairlift up there, trying to fix my makeup so it still looks okay for dinner. And I'm like, oh, it's really nice we came up here. You know, it is a beautiful view. But I'm just like trying to get the sweat to not make my mascara run. So honestly, however long you took setting up a camera, well, I was kind of like, maybe. I was like, no, maybe. And then you called me over and I was like, oh shit, it's happening. It's happening right now.
Yes, no, we will. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. It's really pretty. Okay, I'm so proud of myself.
A moment to see.
I spent all that time making my makeup just to try it on.
And then I called you over to me, and you honestly, you didn't seem totally ready, so...
I don't know how one is ever ready for that.
So it took a minute, hugged you, kissed you.
I was so nervous because I was like, I didn't know if it was really gonna happen. I didn't want to think it was happening in case it didn't happen, and then I would have been really disappointed that it didn't happen. But I also thought you were gonna do it in New York.
I got down on one knee, I said my little speech.
I really liked that you had a speech.
Coming up with a speech was a little bit of a collaboration with me and my friends, me and my buddy TJ, and I guess Tyler a little bit too.
Yeah.
I guess he prompted it too. He was like, so do you have any idea what you're gonna say? And I said, well, I was gonna say, you make me so happy, we go on adventures, will you marry me? And he was like, well, can you talk about like how long you've been together too? And I was like, oh, that's a good point to bring up. And we kind of went through and just came up with a couple things to say. And I didn't have anything like written down, but I had memorized like some talking points so that.
You said it really concisely. Did you practice it?
I was just so confident in the moment that
Really?
it came off that way. Yeah, so there were no ums or buts.
Yeah, no, you like really.
It was very nice. It was a very nice soliloquy.
You can hear it so nicely in the video, which I like because
Whatever.
there was so much emotion. I wanted to remember what you said.
Yeah, very cool. And then I asked her to marry me, and she said yes.
I was bawling my eyes out already by this point.
And then we went and we had a nice supper.
The common man.
And then we went, yeah, it was good. It was good. I think I did a really good job with the proposal. I'm not sure I'm doing a great job telling the story, but it was on top of a mountain. It was scenic. I got the whole thing on camera. I used your full name. I had a great family heirloom diamond. I had a prepared speech. I had a bottle of champagne. And yeah, and it was in a very like special spot to our relationship.
Right. Ian and I lived at Loon twice. Once for my last semester of college, and then when we left New York for the pandemic, you can go back and see my vlogs. We basically quarantined up there until we decided it was safe enough to come back to the city. I learned how to ski there. We spent so much time up there, and yeah, it is a really special spot for our relationship now. Oh, and then immediately after I said, yes, I'll marry you, a hiker came up over the mountain, which was funny because I'm like, for all the effort I took to make sure the sweat wasn't ruining my makeup, I then cried all of it, like through all of it. And this woman and her dog come up over the ridge, and she goes, oh my God, did you guys just get engaged? And we're like, yeah, we did. And she goes, let me take a picture for you, which was really nice of her. And that was nice. And her dog was really sweet and kept trying to be in the picture. And then they took off, which was nice because it really was just us up there. I like that it was just us.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it also really worked out that when we go back to New Hampshire is typically when I get my hair and nails done because it's so much cheaper than doing it in the city. So I was beautifying. I was feeling pretty cute, I'm not gonna lie. Which is kind of nice. Were you nervous?
No.
No? You weren't nervous at all?
No.
But your plan changed a couple times.
Yeah.
How many times?
I had 3 plans.
New York, on the West River.
Yeah, New York, yeah.
Loon.
Yep. Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, that's right. You did mention that. I thought you were maybe trying to fake me out.
I had mentioned I was gonna pull a couple fake outs.
Yeah. So I was feeling a little. I texted my sister immediately a picture of the ring, and I was like, don't tell anybody because we want to tell them ourselves, but you have to be the first to know.
I texted my brother and I said, I just sent him a picture of me down on one knee, and he just goes back to, did she say yes? And she said, let me think about it. And he was like, what the fuck?
Could you imagine? That'd be so rude. So after that, the next morning, we passed by my Graham's house on the way to my parents, so we stopped by everybody and told them. And then we actually had a whole family cookout with Ian's family the day after that.
I did it on Saturday the 3rd. Sunday the 4th, there was a wedding that we had to go to.
Cassie's wedding.
Labor Day, Monday the 5th, my family threw a lobster cookout party. I mean, it was raining, so it was indoors, but we did lobsters, and so that was the perfect time.
It was awesome. Ooh, a fly. Oh my god.
That was the perfect time to tell everyone about the engagement.
That honestly did work out really perfectly.
Yeah.
Your grandpa totally knew it was coming.
Yeah, I told him.
Did you? Did
Yeah,
you?
I told him.
And then we caught my best friend Kayla in Boston on our way back to the city. And we were like, hey, we have an hour between our bus and our train. You know, we're switching. Will you come meet us and just, like, get something to eat? And she, of course, with, like, unprompted was like, yeah, of course, let's go. And we got there and we were like, check it out. And she was like, you're not serious. She's like, you're joking. And we're like, no. And then, yeah, we came back to the city and we told the whole friend group. We were like, hey, drinks on Saturday, this time, this place, we're all gonna meet up. And they did. They all showed up, and we're sitting there. And so Ian and I, like, we were like, let's be coy about it. And so we're holding hands, and we put it up on the table like this. And we just
And then
sat there.
finally, Veronica was like,
oh my god! It took them forever. And Kirsten was like, I saw it, but I was like, there's no way you wouldn't tell me if it happened. And I was like, this is the first time I'm seeing you since it happened.
this is how we're telling you.
I know, right? We're telling you. So then, of course, Kirsten and Jared started buying shots, and it was a party. But of course, now we have to plan, like, the actual parties and everything. And, oh my god. Fiance. Does it feel different being engaged now?
No.
Should get you a ring to show off.
Not so different.
I'm gonna get you a ring so that people can fawn over your engagement ring. Well, yeah. So now we get a plan. We have a wedding to plan.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's gonna be crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. Expect a lot more wedding planning vlogs. We'll take you guys along with us while we plan, just to commemorate and look back on, and maybe help someone else who's planning a wedding. Yeah. We're engaged.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye!